My name is Dorothy Buckhalter, and I am going to present qualities of an excellent teacher. Dr. Janita Hegwood is the professor for this class. I want to start with my introduction. My reason for wanting to be a teacher is because I want to help students, and I want to change a generation. I want to impact them, that they become leaders. I want to be significant and them fulfilling their destiny. I want to invoke children to learn, want to become leaders and be the best that they can be, and I want to change so that they can change their community and be able to live a healthy lifestyle, a quality of living. I want to impact the generation, and I want them to become naturally impart into them knowledge so that they are naturally academically inclined. And I want to use the platform of teaching to do this through education. Let me talk about some qualities of a good teacher. Qualities of a good teacher is a communicator. They have good listening skills. They're a collaborator. They're adaptable. They're engaging. They are showing empathy. They are patient. They are they teach reality experiences through learning, and they apply best practices in their classroom, and the teachers are lifelong learners. So let me tell you, as a teacher, you are a great communicator. There's key elements to being a great communicator. The attributes of an excellent teacher is listening, and it's imperative to be effective at listening, to be active and engaging, because you are listening, then you are responding to that person, you're communicating, that's communicating with you, you are comprehending, you are good at writing, you repeat what has been spoken to you, you write it down so you could refer to it later, and you are a person that, like I said, you're an excellent writer, and you are excellent at speaking, and you are you give clarity so that nothing is misunderstood. You you respond in writing. Also, you follow up, and you are just an excellent communicator. You basically are wanting to make sure that everything is clearly spoken and clearly directed, and you just basically, you know, you're good at this. You're basically a good communicator. You understand nonverbal cues. You are good at interpreting and understanding body language. You pay attention to facial expressions. Uh, you give eye contact. That's a good communicator. And you are you're excellent at speaking. Your voice tone and eye contact will allow your students to know that you are approachable, and you can tell if your student understands or not by their body language. They could be speaking one thing, and because of their body language, you are a good interpreter, and you make connections that way of understanding your students, what they actually are talking about, or what they actually are communicating to you. I don't understand the lesson. You're clear and concise. You speak simplistic instructions and directions. You're reiterating and repeating words easily understood. You're open and personable, and you're approachable. You welcome and give constructive criticism, and you, as well as you getting constructive criticism. and you give, well, you give compliments and you praise students, and you know, you're basically, what am I trying to say? You are very much aware of what your student needs. Your student is needing from you as a communicator, and support, encouragement. Face-to-face communication is respected, but you want to give respect. You want to show respect by action. You always give respect and positive attitude, always being diplomatic, always responding diplomatically. It's important to follow through and keep in your word. That's an excellent communicator. And if you can't keep your word, if you promise something, you want to explain face to face, as respected, be respectful, and to say, oh, I can't make it, let's schedule for another time. Another attribute of a teacher is listening skills. Listening skills is a two-way street. Being an active listener, and excellent skills for teachers to have, being empathetic and understanding to your students. Help come to agreement or conclusion or compromise communication with your students, diffusing conflicts, but having a consensus of your students and what they really need. So there's four attributes of there's first four strategies or four steps of listening skills. So first, you're receptible. You don't have a wall up. You don't have a don't bother me attitude, but welcoming ideas, welcoming messaging, and you give advice if need be. But right now you're listening, and your ears are open, and you're listening with the process of your brain, stimulating the process of what's being said to you. Second, words are sometimes misunderstood. So to be a good interpreter, full undivided attention, and you don't interrupt. You're completely letting that person speak, or expressing themselves, that they are talking. And if you must speak, you make sure that they're finished. You ask, are you finished? And then you speak if need be. Thirdly, you come to the conclusion of understanding of factual evidence, and again, repeat what is asked of you and explain to make accurate judgment if need be. This is a process that takes time, to be patient and to be unbiased, especially for those emotional upsets and situations that you're trying to diffuse. But mainly for listening skills, you want to validate them. And then which leads me to my next point. Fourthly, acknowledge that you are active listener by a nod of your head or verbal I see and I understand, and you respond appropriately, but empathetically, but emotionally responding and displaying your human connection, showing your emotion, that you're making the connection with feelings, that I understand, and that you're reducing anger by doing so. You are eliminating confusion. That you are showing that don't have a lack of misunderstanding, but I have a understanding attitudes towards you to diffuse the situation for those situations that are emotional upset with the children, and also for the colleagues, your whoever you're speaking to. Collaboration. This is an awesome attribute to have. This is very important when working with people, working for a meaningful program. You are collaborating with other professionals in the field, your staff, stakeholders, administration, anyone that has a stakeholder in the collaborating and coming together, bringing curriculum to improve the learning, to create effective program. You are a positive participant in the action plans, cooperating with your principal, supporting that principal, and to have a meaningful collaborating meeting or whatever you're collaborating to do. any projects that you're doing. 3 parts: creative and connective and compounding. Creative is the group of people coming together, coming up with an idea to solve problems and to achieve a goal. And then you're bringing each piece again together, collectively, each person bringing information together from different sources and come together and making it compounded and building on what was last achieved to put in place. The team builds on success of previous achievement. A teacher she stays motivated. She's motivated, she must communicate well, which is what we talked about earlier. Well, she must do it well with others, respect there's diversity in personalities and what other people bring to the table, a wide range point of view from different perspectives. You're respected of that in your collaboration meeting. Sharing and recognizing every idea leads to a stronger, deeper understanding. A deeper understanding that this information, once it's applied, then, because of all the ideas and the effort that's put into it, that it should work. And then, you go from there. But seeing it to bringing it to fruition so that it works, because you're collaborating, and it must work because you're coming together. Scheduling and preparing is an effective tool to use application to keep on task. Initiating emails that the general consensus in respecting, are you available, and coming to a conclusion when the meeting should be, and to give everyone a chance to be a part, whoever is a stakeholder in the collaboration meeting or collaborating project. You are available. You are available. You're compromising with your colleagues in an excellent and positive perspective, to come together, to devote your time to the main objectives, to finish the project, to support one another without judgment. And this is the power of agreement. You want to exemplify and show that you have the power of agreement and coming together. So this will is a rub-off effect, that if you're positive, whatever, well, she's always positive. She's always in agreement, or she's in agreement is perspective relevant to whatever the idea is. If it's innovative and you have a point to object to something diplomatically, then do so. But for the most part, you are diplomatic and coming together. It's like, yeah, that's fine for me. I make myself available. Be always available and always willing to put your effort forth. So you want to be able to express, they want to be able to express their ideas. You want to be able to express your ideas, that they're relevant and will support innovation and the movement of the project or movement, or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So remember that mistakes also is a powerful tool, not to do it again. But this is a powerful tool that is for growth perspective. Problem solving and critical thinking that solves problems and concludes solutions at work. So you want to be a problem solver, you want to be a critical thinker, you want to be a force of change and a force of getting things done. Adaptability. Teachers are adaptable to change in environment, modifying lessons, be willing to change if something isn't working. So you want to not focus on, oh, I spent a long time on that project, or I spent a long time on that lesson plan, and that lesson plan, I spent so much time on it. But your main focus is that your students make connections with your lesson. So you prepare ahead of time, and already that someone may not get it, or they may not, none of them may get it. And you have to scrap it and make sure you have a plan B, and be Johnny on the spot right then and there when you're teaching. They're not understanding your lesson. And that's the most important thing. You plan and be prepared to add students making connections with their lessons. Be willing to adapt to the situation and arise even with your colleagues. Be adaptable. Engaging. Teachers will know how to engage with students' learning by getting students to actively participate in the lesson. So build your prior knowledge of experiences, build the prior knowledge of that student's experience or learning, and build from that, and how this lesson is relevant. Does it model real life activity? Fosters sense of competence. Assign parts of the lesson to each student to build their confidence and build their understanding, their competency and proficiency. So once you have taught the lesson, step back, let the children collaborate, and let them lead. Let them work out the lesson with their peers. This is tables of turn of collaboration. You want to exemplify that in classroom among the students so they can communicate. This will also limit behavior problems. They'll get to understand each other and their ways, and this is all part of growth as far as collaborating and building relationships between the peers that they solve their problem solvers. So they're practicing. So this is effective for them to do this together, to be able to work together. Foster positive student-teacher engagement. Help students make human connections, especially for those who are economically deprived or socially deprived. You want to build upon their confidence, build upon them socially being active with their peers by you being, as example with them, exemplifying that relationship, teacher to student relationship, so that you can eventually merge that child with the other students, so they can practice what they've what you have practiced with them. They're going to again put it in place and practice with their peers. Oh, I'm come out of their shell. And you're doing that by positive relationship to help students develop engagement with others. Show empathy. Teachers must show empathy. Showing empathy is connecting with that student, connecting with them emotionally, and that you care. There's a developmental social growth. Teachers should have the ability to build a relationship by intervention of resources. You must be a great advocate for children. You are interventionists. If that child is hungry, keep some crackers and maybe, speak with them personally, and you say, look, if you're hungry, just come privately and tell me, Ms. Dorothy, I need something to eat, or, because you don't want to teach a child on an empty stomach, and then you don't want to blurt it all to the whole classroom, because then you open up a whole new can of worms, and basically they're going to want to eat too. And there you go, time wasted. But most of all, that you are caring and empathetic, that this child is hungry, and that you want to be an advocate for that child, and then connect to the parents or connect to the family members, and delicately and diplomatically and sensitively, you want to say, okay, do you need some resources? And you can connect them as much as you can within the scope of the school, protocol. What what are their needs, and be caring and be empathetic. This is a caring job. This is a caring profession. You're patient. Patience. Have patience as a teacher when student is asking repeatedly the same question. You may want to try a different approach, but mainly that this child may need your confidence. I don't care how much you've retaught and how much you've explained, what you've written on the Promethean board, what you've written on paper, and given them the directions, they still come in and say, oh, I don't understand. No homework. It's been in the back of my mom's car, or if the dog ate it. You are patient. And, it's just that, in life things happen. And then you want to build upon these skills that this child invoke them. I must get my homework. You must think of creative ways to get them to bring that homework in. I know it's a never-ending battle, but it's worth it. And you don't know what's going on at home, their conditions of their home. They may not have lights. all kinds of circumstances, and they've already been told, don't you dare say anything when you go into that school. I've had them tell, my mom said not to say anything, but we don't have any lights and I'm hungry and we had to hurry up and go, and that's why I don't have my home. And be sensitive to that. Be patient, be sensitive. But I know you heard it all before. We've heard it all before, and we just have to regroup in our own self. And you know that they need to bring this in. This is important. This is their grade. This is their schooling, you know, but you still be patient. Follow up on those projects and be patient with your colleagues, and don't cop an attitude, because one day you're going to be late. One day you're going to have a problem. One day you're going to be really sick, and you're going to need someone to be patient with you. Dish out to others what you dish. Well, you're going to get dished out the same attitude you dished to them. So just make sure that you are patient, or whatever, how you want to be treated as you treat people. That's important. Teaching reality experiences through learning. Incorporate real life situations through learning. In your curriculum, create projects that will help deal with the real world, that students deal with the real world. Plan a project utilizing a garden tools so that they get hands-on experience, and then after that, visit a community garden so they can understand the concepts. You teach them and walk them through that they can apply real life application to learning. These activities will help children later be successful by having hands-on development through the lesson. These kinds of activities will help their abilities to stimulate their growth, stimulate the valuableness and what's priority in the community, and see what is valued, what should be valued. Very important, teaching reality experience through learning. Appropriate best practices. A teacher must operate in clarity. She must apply the best practice possible for that classroom, teaching that unit, and clarifies the criteria and goals for the student's success. She demonstrates through the visual aid, so that students know exactly what you want from them. You want to make sure that you do this as much as possible. Teachers allow the classroom for discussion, facilitate learning, and you do this by observation to make sure children are grasping the concepts of that unit, grasping the concepts of that projects or activities. You want to make sure that this is done, because you don't, want to get in the middle of the lesson or the next step. They don't know. They're completely clueless, or they can't do their homework because information or the lesson wasn't taught effectively, that they can go home and then explain it to their parents. I don't know. And then you get an email, getting a call. So basically what you want to do also, teacher gives feedback throughout the course of the year, a steady pace for that student's movement through the school year. And then you want to explain clearly through the parents also what needs to be improved, what is growth, and give rewards for growth, and you build the children's self-esteem when you do that. Teacher does this through appropriate curriculum, through learning environment, through instructional strategies, and you want to make assessments, and just your professionalism, outright professionalism as a teacher. You know what those things are, to follow up and to do your job correctly. So teachers are lifelong learners. The education through education that you model and mentor students by leading by example. You're in school and you explain your learning processes so that they can exemplify the same example that you are explaining to them, and they are listening. Oh, she's in school too. So then the students become lifelong learners as well. You're making an impact. They hear the teacher sharing their life experiences, working through their learning process. Teacher stays up to date with best practices in training and schooling. Join a professional organization like NAEYC, HighScope. I think NAEYC is I forget how much, 100 and something, I forget how much it is, but HighScope is free. So there's a lot of professional organizations out there. You could be a part of more than one. And then you apply these resources, diverse learners, what you may learn about, how to, correct behavioral challenges. How do I deal with a student that has a condition socially? All of these things you want to implement right away. And this is because you're a lifelong learner. And when you go on these trainings with information that you receive, don't just let it collect dust, but make sure that you implement it in the classroom right away. I thank you for your time and attention. And there is a video. I don't know if it's going to play, Dr. Hegwood. I did get permission for these students. These are students that I personally know. That's why it's only those four. So if you have a problem, hopefully that you can view it, then you should be able to look at it at the, with the PowerPoint that I've submitted earlier.